Okay, so trading can be done in multiple ways. I'm sure you've seen these ads promising $1 million in an afternoon or whatever, 10K a month while you watch Netflix. And, we are adults. We know how the world works, and we know that money doesn't come that easy, right? To make money in this world, it's hard, right? Make money is hard, and make money in trading, it's hard, but it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. So those kind of opportunities, as they call it, or products that just promise this passive income, those probably just scams and just taking advantage of people, and maybe people were having some financial issues at that time. So we decided to create another kind of product that is a system. Okay, so I worked 8 years at an investment fund in Toronto, in Canada, and we were trading $3.4 billion a day in US equities. Over the years, I've seen over 20,000 traders. Some of them became professional traders, full-time traders. Some of them, they failed and they found something else. So what I want to try to say is that trading, successfully, it's possible. It's not impossible. Okay, it's hard, yes. So we should never say it's easy, but it's not impossible. So if what does it mean? Like, how do you succeed in trading, right? The real trading. We're not talking about the fantasies here. Okay, the real in trading. How do you succeed? You succeed, number one, by using a system. And if you notice, if you study the markets, if you study the best, even the investors, right? Like Warren Buffett or Peter Lynch or John Templeton, whatever, whoever, right? They used a system. So they stick to a system, right? They didn't jump from one strategy to the other. They didn't, try to mix long-term conservative value investing with, high frequency day trading. That's not how it works. The way it works is that you need a system, right? And you monitor the system, you and you adjust the system, but you stick to the system. So with Galileo, we created a system that opens and closes trades automatically, but based on your decisions, on your direction. Okay, so it's like a ship. You can give direction to the software. You can tell Galileo, to have a certain approach to the market or another approach, right? So why? Because different people have different risk tolerances, right? Some people are really comfortable, jumping off a plane with a parachute, of course. Other people, they're afraid even to board a plane. So when I saw this, I said, wow, we have to create a product that, helps people trade, and even a professional way, in a sense, but without having to do it manually and watching charts and having to learn all these indicators and analyzing, because people are busy, right? Our clients, they are not full-time traders, so they have jobs, they have small businesses, they have whatever, they're doctors, they're lawyers, small business owners. So we need to give to them like a system that it's real, it can make money, and that they can personalize, because different people, they're gonna have different goals, they're gonna have different risk tolerance, different risk styles. So basically, with Galileo, you are the captain of the ship. You can choose what you want to trade, whether it's Bitcoin or Forex, like Euro USD, and gold or indexes. You can choose what you want to trade, how you want to trade it, right? So this is not like a black box algorithm that you just, have to pray and you have to say, wow, I hope this thing works. And maybe then it loses all the money that you have, right? That's actually, unfortunately, most of our industry. That's how it works. So you have to pray and have faith that these algorithms will work. That's not the case with us. Why? Because it's so much better, right? If people can adjust it. Maybe I tried high risk for a week and I see that, maybe, the losses are too high. I don't really have too much time to monitor when it's too aggressive. So I'm going to switch to a conservative trading style. You can do that with Galileo, right? So that's what we are doing. That's what we believe in. We believe in human potential. We believe that people with the right tools, they can achieve things that they couldn't even imagine, right? So that's why we built this company. We built in 2020, so we've been around for a few years, which is a very, rare thing in this business because most companies they just open and then they disappear once they have angry customers. Of course, we had our share of angry customers as any business, right? But we are super happy, when we get customers that, they want to join us and they want to succeed in trading. They understand that it's not that easy, but it's possible. Okay. And that it may take a few weeks, a few months to get adjusted. They want to be patient in the sense that they want to go, follow the right steps. And, the first step should always be you start in demo, right? Because when you're trying a new strategy, new software, new investment, whatever it is, you want to try it first, with virtual funds. You don't want to risk the money, your capital. So, we try to not educate, but push people to trade responsibly because that's really the way, right? If you take this as a gamble, if you just download some software and you don't know what you're doing and maybe it's you set random a random configuration and you let it go, you're going to lose all your money. Okay, in that case, if that's what you want to do, if you want to gamble, I always say to people, just go to Las Vegas, right? You're going to have a lot of fun. Or for people in Europe, they can go to Monaco, right? We are in Europe, so they can go to Monaco. But anyway, you go to the casinos, you have the lights, you have drinks, you have, nice music and whatever, and colors and sounds. And at least when you lose money, you're going to have some kind of fun, right? So if you want to gamble, why would you do it with a trading software that you download and then you have to sit there, at your desk watching your computer, this software losing all your money? I mean, that's really bad. Okay, that's a really bad experience. So yeah, we respect everybody, but of course, people with a gambling attitude or I'm just gonna try it, and then they just jump into high risk or like not even knowing how like the basic mechanics of the software. We prefer to not give the software to these people. Okay, so it's not that we have like a strong selection right now, but we prefer to have people and clients who wanna, look for the long term, and they understand that success takes time, right? But you need the right tools, and Galileo is like your ally, right? It's in your team. It's gonna help you, but it's not gonna do everything for you, right? It can do maybe 70, 80%. You still have to pilot the plane, right? You are the captain of the ship. So that's I think it's great because with such a customizable software like ours, basically you can adapt it to multiple market conditions, to anything that's happening in the market. Imagine like people been using our software for 5 years. In the last 5 years, we have a completely different world. We had the pandemic in the meantime. We had elections, and then we had all kinds of political developments. We had the war in Ukraine, inflation, interest rates. Now people are talking about recession. So the world is a different world compared to 5 years ago. But the software, Galileo, it can still make money and profits every day in any market. Why? Because you can adjust it. And you may think, oh my God, this is going to be difficult to adjust it and to change it. We made it as simple as possible. Why? Because you can just, edit some settings. You don't need any programming. You don't need to code anything, right? The code runs behind. You don't see it behind the user interface. So it's a simple tool, right? It's a simple but powerful. So you can check it like, oh, open a trade after this amount of consecutive signals from the market, right? So if Galileo, when it scans the market, it sees all these signals, it's going to open a trade and then it's going to close it based on the direction that you give to it, right? You can set like a limit for how many trades you want the robot to make. So some people, they just jump off the cliff and they just put, no limits and no stop loss and aggressive settings. So the robot is going to buy and buy, like opening 100 trades in a day. Of course, we don't suggest that, but you are free to do it. I mean, we don't stop anybody, right? So I believe in freedom of choice. So with this software, it's up to you, right? It's up to you, and it's simple to customize it. And of course, we have made investments in support. We don't use AI for support. We have three real people working 24, around the clock, each 8 hours, different parts of the world, Americas, Europe, Asia, and they are trained, okay? And any question you have about how the software works, you can ask them. Or the software, let's say it's not running, we have the team, right? We provide this support to our clients. Of course, we want clients who share this view, okay? So if you are somebody looking for, oh, I just want a lottery ticket or something, or I want, if you still believe, because that's also the thing. Why would you believe that a software can magically make money for you and you would do nothing, right? If we had such software, do you think we would sell it for a few €100 or even $1,000, whatever? No, we wouldn't sell it, right? So, but the fact that we sell it, it means that we believe in the product and you can use it to succeed in training. Even if you have another job, you can create income. And it's going to be fun, okay? This is not stressful. This is not, number. You don't need to crunch any numbers. So you keep it there and you can monitor it, once a day, once an hour, once a minute, once a week, whenever you want, right? So of course, if you put some aggressive or moderately aggressive settings, you will need to monitor the robot closely, right? Otherwise, you don't. The market changes all of a sudden, or Trump, it tweets something crazy or whatever, some development in the Ukraine war or inflation or whatever. You have to monitor in aggressive settings. If you use conservative settings, maybe you can monitor it a little less often. But the fun part is that basically you load up this software, and the software is going to scan the market, and based on your criterias, when it finds you know an opportunity, it's going to buy or it's going to sell. And people love the software. We have a community now in the forum of 5,000 users. Not all of them are active, of course. Some people, they take breaks from the software, right? From using Galileo. Some people, they come back after a year. Some people, they use it every day for 5 years. So it's good, right? It's good to have a tool that can help you, okay? That it's your ally, but the tool cannot replace your decision making. There's no such tool that can do it by itself. Even if you think about AI, right? The LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, whatever, right? You have to give some input to it, okay? You have to transfer your idea, what you want, and then the tool is going to help you, right? Write an article or whatever you need from the tool. But you need some kind of back and forth. Now, with Galileo, you don't need constant back and forth like ChatGPT that you need to ask and it's going boom, 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 boom. No, you just set it up and you let it run, okay? You start in demo. You try different configurations. Maybe you can try one aggressive, one moderate, and one a little slower in demo. So you're not risking real money. And then you just go for your life. You check it from your phone, and you can say, oh wow, the aggressive strategy made this, and it's pretty good. I like it. The second one, too many losses. So you can make decisions. So you say, okay, let's double down on the slow one, for example, from the conservative strategy, and let's stop using the aggressive strategy, whatever, right? So you can make decisions, and that's what you should do, right? You shouldn't spend time watching charts and placing trades with your keyboard and your mouse or your phone. What's the probability that you could even push the wrong button? And you know how many people, when they trade manually, they just push the wrong button. Maybe they want to buy, and instead they sell. So that's what we do. That's what we believe in. We believe in long-term success, but of course, we understand that people want results. Okay, so we're not telling people, our clients, to study or whatever, to get a financial degree. You don't need a finance degree anymore, right? You need the right tools and you need the system. Okay, as we were saying, you need a system. Okay, you have to stick to a system. Everybody who was successful in the stock market or investing, they have their own system that works well for them. We give you the system and we make it super easy for you to customize the system to your liking and to your style. So yeah, that's what we do, right? We are based in Italy. We have 5 people in the US right now, full time. You can talk to them. We have people in Europe. We have people in Japan, and we are, super proud. We are happy with our product because we see that customers, once they try it, once they see how it works, they say, wow, I never seen anything like this. Wow, this is different. This is great. I can make, they see that this is real. Okay, this is not some fantasy. This is not some promise. We are not, marketing with influencer. We don't even advertise on Facebook and Instagram, right? Because we don't want to be associated with this world of influencers from Bali, with or Dubai with Ferrari, Lamborghini, and telling you that you should jump into this once in a lifetime opportunity, blah 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 blah. That's like BS. Okay, sorry for my French, but that damages the entire industry. Okay, that's not who we are. Okay, we are responsible, serious company, and we want our clients to succeed. So you may think, oh, why are you guys so worried about me succeeding? Because number one, we believe in the product and we've seen it. Okay, so why would we want our clients to lose money? We don't want our clients to lose money, right? Why? Why? We couldn't, we could say, oh, we made the sale. Who cares? But that creates, brand damage. Okay, people are not gonna recommend it to their customers. So we want happy customers. But to have happy customers, we also need to communicate what this product is and what it is not. And it's not a lottery ticket. It's not a magical money making thing. And that's why it works, okay? Because those magical, oh, you're gonna print $1,000 in an afternoon, that don't work, okay? That's for jackpot hunters, that's for gamblers, and that just doesn't work. Okay, so this is what we sell, this is what we offer. We're very proud, and we're bringing more features to help even more to manage risk, to limit losses as much as possible. Because another thing important, losses, they are the key in trading. So if you study even, quickly, you're gonna see that even Warren Buffett or the best investors, the best traders ever, they lost money in the market. And this tells you a simple truth that everybody has to go through that stage. And if you want to succeed in trading and investing, you have to accept that in the beginning you're going to have some losses. So those losses, they're not going to be permanent if you adjust, if you learn, if you try to understand what was the mistake. Okay. So if you see that with our software, with our system, a certain strategy or certain strategies, they lose money, you should stop using them, right? You shouldn't double down on something that doesn't work. Just do something else. Thank, thank God, our software, you can customize it with even hundreds, even thousands of different approaches, on different assets. So that's what I think, people appreciate about it. And they see that we are serious. They see that we are genuine. We don't promise, you know, false things. But I understand completely before buying such a product, and when you evaluate the different products, you may put us in the same category as all the others, AI training robots or like magical, software. But I hope that now that you know all these things that I've been saying, you will see the difference. I think that if you see it, then you could be the right kind of person who can really succeed with us. If you don't see it, if you think that those fantasy opportunities they really exist, and I try to warn you, but it's your decision. You want to go and sign up with those kind of services, do it, right? Who I am to tell you to not do it, but be careful, okay? And maybe you will come back to us after the lesson that, because they don't exist, okay? It's not that I'm wishing anybody, you know, bad things, but it's impossible, okay, to generate money without doing anything, especially large amounts of money and without any risk, okay? You can take super high risk for the chance of making a lot of money. Yes, that's doable. You can do it even with our software if you want to do it. You can set it super aggressive and high risk, but then risk is going to be extremely high of losing the money that you put in. So you have to understand that, okay? And just well, if you understand it, you still want to do it. It's up to you. It's freedom of choice. But usually it doesn't work for most people. So what works? You take it, seriously, slowly. You dedicate a few minutes a day. You don't need to dedicate hours a day because the software is going around on the back in the background, right? So you don't need to do things all the time. You just set it up and you let it run. And then you come back and you see what happened. Once you see that something works, you can move live with real money. Now, another thing that is important, brokers, okay? To use our software, you're gonna need a broker account. So these brokers, they're not like financial advisors. These are not like physical person, so, because I know some people think like broker is gotta be some physical person that I talk to. No, no, no. That's like 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Right now, these days in 2025, brokers, they have online platforms. You just go, you sign up, you give them your ID, you open the account, you deposit some money, and then you can connect it to our software. So you don't need to give us, your capital. We don't manage any client funds. So it's up to you. You choose the broker. But we always advise to choose a regulated broker in your country. Okay, don't use these offshore brokers in some Caribbean island or Bahamas or whatever, right? Why? Because even if you use the right system but you use a broker that's offshore and it's a scammy broker, they have ways of tricking, okay, of tricking you. And just even if you make the right trades, they're gonna take advantage of it. I know it's really bad. I know these things they sound illegal. I know, but that's how it is. Okay. So if you're interested, you can contact us. You can even buy straight from the website, and we're gonna welcome you, and we hope that you can succeed with our tool. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a good day. Thank you.